Hi and welcome to Crazy Grandfad Science lesson with me, Crazy Grandfad. I'm going to be talking to you today about this stuff, water. Water is absolutely everywhere and it's incredibly useful. Look at all the different things that you can do with it.
You can put it in your drinks. You can use it to wash your hands. You can drink it. You can raise money for charity with it. You can wash your clothes with it. You can wash your hair with it. You can remove wallpaper with it. You can even drive really fast steam trains with it.
One of the reasons why water is so useful is that it comes in one of 3 different states. You can either have water as a solid, you can either have water as a liquid, or you can have water as a gas. Wait a minute, you're saying? Water as a solid? I know water, I wash with it, I drink it. How's it a solid? Can you think of an example where water becomes a solid? That's right, this stuff, ice. When water gets very, very cold, it turns into ice. And ice is very solid. If you don't think it's a solid, throw a big lump of ice up and land it on your head and see if it hurts. Don't do that, really. Ice is so solid, in fact, they've actually made buildings out of it in the northern Arctic regions where it's very cold. This place, for example, is a hotel and it's made entirely out of blocks of ice. You can go and stay in one of its rooms. Sounds a bit cold to me. So how can we take water and turn it from a solid into a liquid and then into a gas? Let's take a look. So what I've got here is some ice, which is the solid form of water. It's just come out of the freezer. Look, it's in nice little heart shapes. That's nice, isn't it? And you remember this is a solid, and I can tell it's a solid. Ouch! Very solid indeed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this ice into a pan and we'll see what happens to it. So here's my ice, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this pan and then we'll just leave it. We'll start a little clock going here so we can see how long it takes, and what we'll do is we'll speed up the video so you should be able to see it turning from a solid into a liquid. So you can see now we are 12 minutes in, nearly, just coming up to 12 minutes, and a lot of the solid ice has turned into water already, look. And what's happening here is that all of the ice, because the room is warmer than the very, very cold ice, the ice is absorbing heat from the room and warming up the ice and turning it into water. And actually the temperature here in our kitchen is actually getting a little bit colder because of this. It's actually sucking the heat out of the air. You don't really notice it because the heating's on and it's very, very tiny, but that's what's happening. So in these bits of ice, all of the water molecules are all tightly fixed together and they're very, very still and solid. And as they get more energy, more heat, they're starting to move around a bit and vibrate, and that's turning them, making it go from solid into liquid. So we'll leave this going for a little bit and then see where we get to. Right, so there we are at 30 minutes, and you can see just about all of the ice has melted now. So we'll stop the clock at 30 minutes, and that's all pretty much now liquid. Those other little bits will very soon melt away. So at room temperature now, all the ice, the solid ice, has turned into a liquid, and if we stay at room temperature then it will stay a liquid. So we've done solid and we've done liquid, and the next part of water is when it turns into a gas, or it turns into a gaseous state, as we say. How do we get it into that state?
And the answer is we have to heat it. So at the moment, all of those little molecules, all the little bits of the water, little particles that make up water, they were all nicely stuck together and very, very cold and sticking to each other. And then we gave them some energy by absorbing heat from the room, and they've got a little bit more active, and they've said, "Ooh, I can move around now." And now what we're going to do is we're going to apply some more heat to this, and now the water molecules, the particles in the water, are not just going to be running around here, they're going to go, "Woo! A tree!" bouncing out of the water. And that's what you see as steam when you heat water up in a kettle or whatever. So what we're going to do is we apply some heat to it. So we'll turn the gas on. So if you're doing this at home, you need to be a bit careful. Maybe ask your parents or somebody to do it. So we're going to turn the gas on and we're going to stick the pan on. And we're going to heat this up for a little while. We'll speed this up again. So we'll see what happens. Right, so now you can see we've applied the heat for a little while and the water is starting to bubble, and can you see steam coming off it? All the steam, that's all the water molecules jumping out the water and turning into a vapour and going off into the rest of the room. If we leave it a bit longer, it'll get bubblier and bubblier. Be very careful with this, because obviously boiling water is very dangerous, so you need to be very careful if you're doing this at home to make sure you do it with your mummy or daddy or somebody grown up, to make sure that you're very, very careful. This is another use for water. When you've got a bad cold, you can have very hot water and you can breathe in the water vapour and it helps clear your nose. That's one I forgot at the beginning. Gosh, really bubbling now, isn't it? You see all the steam coming off. That's all the water vapour going up into the air as a gas. And can you see what's happening? The liquid water is starting to disappear completely, and it's all turning into water vapour, a gas, into the air, and it's all floating around here. I can actually smell it. I can smell the steam, and give it a second, you'll see it's all starting to disappear. And all that water's gone into the air. And last bit. Hurrah! Escape. Shh. All gone, look. That's good, isn't it? So you can look at solid ice. You can just open your freezer and take a look. And you can obviously see liquid water. Look, there's lots of it here. But how can you see water vapour? Water as a gas. Lots and lots and lots of it. I'll give you a clue. Look up. Yes, that's right. Clouds. They're made of water vapour. In fact, an awful lot of water vapour. It's been estimated that one of those white fluffy clouds that you see in the summer, called a cumulus cloud, is made up of 250,000 litres of water. That weighs 250,000 kilograms. That's as much as 2 fully grown blue whales in each of those white fluffy clouds hovering over your head. Think of that. And one of those enormous cumulonimbus clouds that you see on a really hot day in the summer, they can have as much as 250 million litres of water in them. That's enough water to fill 100 Olympic-sized swimming pools. And that weighs as much as 20 full-grown blue whales. Of course, water vapour doesn't stay up in the clouds forever. It rises and it cools, and what does water vapour turn back into? It turns back into liquid water. And what is liquid water falling out of the sky?
Rain.
It's time for the Crazy Grandfad quiz to find out how much you've learned. Question 1. What are the 3 different forms or states of water? That's right. Solid, a liquid, and a gas. Question 2. What do we call the solid form of water? That's right, it's ice. How do you turn ice into liquid water? There are a number of answers to this question, but something like giving it energy or heating it up will do. Last question. Where can you see lots and lots of water as a gas or water vapour? Way up in the sky as clouds.
How did you get on? Don't worry if you didn't get them all right. Nobody can be perfect all the time, not even Crazy Grandfad. Join me next time and I'm going to be looking at more of the properties of water on Crazy Grandfad Science. Bye for now!